Hi everyone, my name is Rones Friedman. I'm a science fiction writer and an IT professional. Welcome to Science Sci-Fi, connecting the public to science and technology through storytelling. Today I'm trying a new camera, so the video camera is supposed to be good, but I was unable to connect my fancy microphone. I'll show you. This is it. I was unable to connect it, so the video quality for the rest of the video, for the slide, I'll do with the other microphone. So today we're going to talk about asteroid impact, the big one, the big chunk one that could actually cause a massive extinction, like the one that killed the dinosaurs. So stay tuned, it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to like it. Switching back to the old camera, the one that is connected to the old microphone, to the big fancy microphone. I'll now connect to the slides. Let's show the screens. And let's start with Killer Asteroids episode. So what's going to be on the agenda today? The agenda, first we start a blast from the past. We'll review asteroid impacts from the past, starting from small one and then go to bigger and bigger and massive and deadlier until we get to the big one that actually can destroy the whole planet. Then we're going to talk about asteroid impacts, so meteor impact in science fiction, and what we as humanity can do in order to either prevent or mitigate some of the impact of these deadly asteroids. We are not going to talk about small impact of asteroid that may be the size of my fist or smaller. Those happen like hundreds of thousands of times every day. These are small ones, they burn in the atmosphere, that we don't see them. So the first asteroid impact we're going to talk about is the Chelyabinsk meteor. It happened in 2013 in Russia, in February 15. A lot of people were just driving around with their dash cam, were able to take capture of the asteroid as it's plunged through the atmosphere and burning from the heat. And there were also images of the impact. The asteroid is about 20 meters in size, quite massive, about 13,000 to 14,000 tons, a bit heavier than the Eiffel Tower. It was non-fatal, nobody was killed, but 1,491 people reported injuries, and over 7,200 buildings were damaged. I'm talking about damage to the roof, windows shattering, stuff like that. So it was quite a massive, but we are very lucky. So it's not too massive, and it didn't hit the center of the city. So, but it's still something that was captured on camera, so pretty exciting stuff. Next, the Tunguska event in 1908. This is the largest impact recorded in history. Luckily, it happened in eastern Siberia, as you can see there on the map, in unpopulated area that very few people were living in the region. The explosion was quite big, about between 50 and 119 meters, the size of the meteor. So we don't know if it was a smaller one that was 50 meters in size that came fast, or a bigger one close to 200 meters in size that came slow. The size, the energy that was released is equal to 3 to 30 megaton TNT, very similar to a thermonuclear nuclear bomb that exists in the arsenal of the Russia and the United States. So it's much bigger than Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but it's like a nuclear bomb. You don't want something like this to hit a city. So the damage was about 80 million trees that were flattened in an area that 2,150 square kilometers. Again, no reported injuries. It was a remote area, and up until a few years ago, we weren't even sure if it was an asteroid impact. There was different theories to explain it, but it's probably an asteroid impact. Next, we're going to talk about Meteor Crater, Arizona. This is a very famous tourist attraction. A lot of people come here because of the dry weather. The crater still survives until today, from 50,000 years ago. The estimation, it was the meteor that hit there was about 50 meters in size, made primarily of metals, which means iron and nickel. The explosion was about 10 megaton, about 500 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. So it's more or less similar to Tunguska. It hit in unpopulated area, I don't believe there were people there 50,000 years ago in the Americas, but the impact still stay until today. Quite impressive. The next impact, we have to go back in time 66 million years ago to the time of the dinosaurs. In my video about existential risk, I talk about this impact. This one was a big one. It was the size was about 10 to 15 kilometers. It's not 20 meter, it's 10-kilometer size, the size of Mount Everest. The impact, the explosion energy that was released during the impact was about 100 teratons of TNT. It's a billion times more powerful than the atomic bomb that hit Hiroshima. That was a global event. Of course, everything that was in a few hundred kilometers from it was incinerated from the heat wave, and was a global firestorm that went circle in the entire globe and probably hit a lot of the animals and the trees and the plants that were outside on the surface, were unable to hide. It caused widespread fire, sulfuric rain. But the big impact, why there was such a big mass extinction that killed about 75% of all species on the planet, including all the dinosaurs, is the nuclear winter that followed. The theory is that the dust cloud that came up from the explosion covered the entire Earth, blocking the sun for about a year, and the temperature plummeted. Plants were not able to do photosynthesis and generate food. So most of the big animals died both on land and at sea. Some small animals were able to survive, and after the damage was cleared, they were able to become basically us. But that was quite devastating. But that's not all. Let's go back in time 4.5 billion years ago. Billion. Giant impact hypothesis. So the theory that the prototype, during the time that the solar system was forming, a protoplanet, perhaps the size of Mars, maybe slightly smaller, collided with the newly born Earth. And in this collision, the moon was created. So this is something far, far beyond anything that killed the dinosaurs. So that's a big one. Is it possible to happen again? Based on what we currently know of the solar system, no, but a rogue planet that can come from outside the solar system can come and hit us. The chances are pretty low, but it's not zero. Moving to science fiction for a bit. Hollywood love asteroid like the one that killed the dinosaurs. I mean, not one that's going to shatter Earth completely, but one that is enough to destroy most of life and definitely our civilization. First movie, it's Armageddon. A big asteroid or a comet is coming, and of course, humanity come to a bunch of roughnecks like Bruce Willis to launch and try to stop the asteroid. We have a new movie from 2020 with Gerard Butler and Monia Bukharin. He's known from the 300, and she's been in quite a few sci-fi TVs and movies like Firefly, Stargate SG-1, V, Deadpool, etc. Here again, a big asteroid is coming to Earth, and humanity this time is trying to survive not by deflecting it, but by building a huge shelter in Greenland that hosts quite a few people, plus a lot of seeds. The idea, if it's an asteroid that killed the dinosaur type of event, humanity will be able to survive inside these bunkers for a year or 2 years and then come out and repopulate the Earth and rebuild and still have all the genetic materials needed to for plants and animals. And the last one is Deep Impact. It happened, I think, about a couple of months before Armageddon. They tried both approach. They had a team that going to space trying to deflect the asteroids, but also they try to hide people in deep bunkers, like in Greenland. Now, if we'll move to other asteroid impact, but not Hollywood, but other medias, we have Lucifer Hammer, it's a book from 1977 by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. Again, about a big asteroid coming to Earth, and it's talk mostly about how the panic before the actual impact. We have Salvation, a TV series from 2017. They are trying to find a way to stop the asteroid from the impact. Evacuating Earth, it's a National Geographic movie from about 6 years ago. It's also available on YouTube. I recommend you watch it. There you will have a neutron star that's going to destroy the entire solar system. So hiding in bunker underground won't do any good because everything is going to disintegrate. So the only solution is to build some sort of spacecraft and evacuate Earth and try to go to another star system. And we have the Expanse in the last few episodes. Of course, this was planned attacks, so the belter threw asteroid purposely on Earth, and Earth was not prepared because they had the belter were using Martian stealth technology, but they were quite fancy asteroid impacts. Those are city killer asteroids, not dinosaur killer asteroids, so something like 50 meters in size. It was quite a show. So back to science. What are our chances? If you look, there are thousands or hundreds of asteroid impact every day. Like I think probably a few, close to 1,000 every day, but most of them are very, very small. They burn in the atmosphere. They don't even reach the ground. Some are a bit bigger, are able to reach the ground. Some, like the one in Russia in 2013, could actually cause some damage. But the bigger they are, the chances of them hitting in the near future are smaller and smaller. So if we talk about smaller asteroids, the one that cannot destroy a city, either they burn the atmosphere or maybe cause a little damage, destroy a roof, I don't know, a garage. Those happens all the times, a few hundred times a day. A bigger asteroid, like 50 or 100 meters in size, one that can destroy a city, cause millions of people killed, but it's not going to destroy our civilization or life. It's not going to cause extinction. Those occur more or less once every 100 years. There is a table on Wikipedia. So the smaller one are a little bit more frequent, can happen every 20, 30 years, but the massive one even every 5,000 years or so. And so city killer, high level, once every 100 years. Something like the asteroid, the big 10 kilometers in size, not 50 meters, but 10 kilometers, the one that killed the dinosaurs. Those are very, very rare. The chances of it happening in the next 100 years are extremely slim, maybe 1 in a million. But if you wait long enough, it will happen. And something like Tia theory, the protoplanet that hit the Earth and just destroy everything, it's not going to happen based on what we have right now in the solar system, but there is a slim, small chance that maybe something from outside the solar system, like in the documentary Evacuating Earth, may come from outside and hit the Earth and destroy us. Probability for that are extremely low. So what can we do about all these risks? Option one is, of course, do nothing. We say the chances of a extinction level event the next 100 years is 1 in a million. So why do anything? Let's not do anything. If it happens and an asteroid, a smaller one, will come and destroy a city, yeah, it's pretty bad, but our civilization will survive. So we can choose this, do nothing. Option two, build shelters, like in Deep Impact or in Greenland, the movie Greenland. This one will enable us to survive, or at least a small portion of humanity, to survive asteroid like the one that killed the dinosaurs. Option three, planetary descents. Put an array that can detect beforehand all the asteroids that are potentially may impact Earth. And then once we know when an asteroid like this is about to hit Earth, and assuming we have enough time to prepare, then we're going to send a spacecraft and try to deflect it. That's the Bruce Willis approach. NASA is experimented. They have a program called DART, double asteroid redirection test, and they plan, and I think this year, to launch using the SpaceX Falcon 9, the DART spacecraft, to rendezvous with a couple of asteroids and try to deflect and see if they try to deflect the smaller one. And because both of asteroids have a gravitational force that impact each other, this will slightly deflect also the big one. So this is something that we are trying to do. If we have enough time and we are a spacefaring civilization capable of launching spacecraft to space, maybe we can deflect the city-size killer asteroid, or even a dinosaurs killer asteroid, given enough time and enough resources. And the last option, evacuating Earth. I hope it will never reach to that. Notice the last two options requires us to become a spacefaring civilization. Like, we want to be able to launch spacecraft. We also want to, maybe for the last one, evacuating Earth, to have big habitats in space or in other planets, or perhaps even in other star systems. In conclusion, long term, the chances of a civilization destroy asteroid hitting us it's a given. It's going to happen. But that's in a very, very long term. It could take millions or hundreds of millions of years before that happens. Short term, there is a decent chance of not an extinction level event, but a decent chance for a smaller asteroid that can destroy a city. So if this thing hit New York or Los Angeles, it's pretty bad. It could cause millions of deaths, maybe even tens of millions of deaths, but our civilization will still survive. So the conclusion is, we want to become a spacefaring civilization for great many reasons. Asteroid mining and is one thing, but also to protect the Earth from asteroid impact. Or if we cannot protect the Earth, be able to evacuate if worse come to worse. So that's the video for today. I hope you like it. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. That would really help me. If you want to support the channel, please buy one of my books on Amazon. Links will be in the description below. And see you next week when I'll provide more content.